My name is Donald DeRosier. I am the host of 111 Podcast, where we sit down with entrepreneurs and hear their new beginning stories. We are starting a new series, and I'm looking for 11, that's right, 11 different unconventional entrepreneurs that are doing things in a very different way. And I want to really strip down and embrace that authenticity that is in you. If you are doing entrepreneurship in an unconventional way, I want to hear from you, and I'm only looking for 11 of you. So, want to start this brand new series looking for 11 different unconventional entrepreneurs, founders that are doing amazing work. Hit me up in the DMs if that's you, and I would absolutely love to get you on the pod. I want to say thank you so much, Nina, for coming on 111 Pod. I know you are a personal growth coach, and you absolutely love what you do, and you have quite the story. So why don't you introduce yourself and share us a little bit about you, of why people should connect with you in the future. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Don. Lovely. My name is Nina Thiara, and I'm a self-growth coach where I support women to stop over-functioning in relationships, help them reconnect to themselves so they can start living the life they deserve and want. And I'm just going to go right into sharing a little bit of my story. Okay.
Please. Thank you. Thank you.
It's 1989, and I'm at my parents' place, and there's a knock at the door. My father opens up the door with a big smile on his face as the boy and his family walk into our home to meet me. Me, 21, I'm in the kitchen making everyone chai tea like a good Indian girl. As everyone sits at our dining room table to discuss if the boy is a suitable match for me. He had been scouted from a family member, and my father was eager to give me away. I sat there across the table making small talk with a complete stranger that I should consider marrying. I don't remember much of the day, but that was the start of the process of my arranged marriage. Fast forward 6 months later, we got married. Within 5 years, we have kids. And this is when my symptoms of depression, anxiety, stomach issues, and exhaustion began to be my new normal. I remember being at home for an entire year, having to drag myself out of bed to bring my children to school, come back home after forcing myself to try to eat something, and then back to bed until it was time for me to pick them back up. I was off for work over a year because my body was shutting down and I had no capacity. My husband would look at me, Nina, it's all in your head, and said, pull yourself together. I started going to a naturopath, doing coaching and everything I could to feel better, as I didn't know what was wrong with me. After a year or so, I started to feel better, assert my boundaries in my relationship with my husband. And I started working out more, having new hobbies, and I could tell he didn't like the changes I was making. And after a while, we stopped sleeping in the same bed. I married the wrong man, and I didn't want to be married anymore. Now, as I look back, my symptoms from overfunctioning, people-pleasing, and putting myself last, I had little to no connection with who I really was or what I wanted until I did the inner work that changed everything. And now today, I help women stop overfunctioning in their relationships and reconnect to themselves so they can start living life on their terms.
Awesome. I absolutely love that, Nina. Thank you so much for the introduction. I'd love to go back to your depression, your anxiety, and I'm a big believer in doing what you love to do. And I'm curious, like, were you able to find yourself, like, I know it's so hard to become aware, especially of like, where is this depression coming from? Where is this anxiety? So how long did it take you to rediscover yourself? And what did that take from you to actually move in that direction back in that time when you were first like getting through that or struggling with that depression initially? I'd love to hear more about that.
So really, I had symptoms. I had a lot of symptoms, anxiety, depression, stomach issues, which is later diagnosed as irritable bowel syndrome. I had insomnia for 20 years. I think it was, and I was searching for help in books, seminars, workshops, going to one modality to the other. And nothing was really working. So it wasn't until 2006 where, I really hit rock bottom and I was willing to try anything. There's a saying, when the student's ready, the teacher appears. So I had a friend who connected with me to somebody. She goes, no, she deals with women's health. She was a health practitioner. And why don't you go see her? So I remember it was July of 2006. I went to see her. And I don't know what happened. I guess she just, she took a history of me, and I guess whatever she did, or she could see my story and connect to it and said, yeah, I can help you and support you, but it's going to be a long journey. You will become symptom free. You will live the life you want and deserve. Your children will become like you, and you'll find your soul purpose. And at the time, I was more just wanting to feel better, right? So the journey continued. 2006, so slowly I saw patches of healing, the ebbs and flows. I would feel better, and then I would crash. I would feel and crash. So for me, I would say that awareness came through when someone reflected things to me through their work, the modality, of what was, and once those things started coming up, and what was difficult about my journey was I had to go do the work. She would share things with me or say just maybe a line. I mean, I still remember that. I don't think I'm going to be this cruel to my clients. She would share something and I would have to go investigate it. I would either internet it, go get a book, or go to a seminar, or whatever it looked for me at the moment, or go seek help elsewhere. And something she said to me was, don't go elsewhere until I tell you to. I feel you need support. So she was my support. I would see her every 4 weeks. And then we would see what happened at the end of the 4 weeks. So that's where my awareness came from. And then I just started doing the work, and one thing unfolded, the next would unfold. And it's interesting, even though after becoming connected mind, body, and soul in 2000, I would say, I remember because I went through a connection which helped my anxiety attachment come up, which was, I remember, October 2025, exactly. I still remember it. That's when I really saw, oh my God, all the work I had done come together. And I'm still doing it. Things are still coming out. Something comes last night after my father's passing. But you're able to have that space and containment to deal with it in a way that you're not overwhelmed.
It sounds like it takes time. It takes time to heal. It takes time to build yourself back up. It takes time to do the work. And when you're talking about doing the work, could you give us a few examples, just ways that you helped yourself do the work? Is this through certain books that you read, certain connections that you made with other people, or just being by yourself and just meditating, or going to silent retreats? When you say doing the work, could you share a little more about that?
Okay. So doing the work for me was when before I went to see this woman that helped me bring out more, I had already done some personal development book, I was reading, I was going to seminars, which was just keeping me in circles because I wasn't really embodying it or really feeling it in my body. So with her work, she would want me to, of course, talk therapy, connect the dots, which was very hard for me because all the stuff was so in my subconscious programming as a child. And then it was carried on to adults. So I never really learned to feel and process that and understand my core programming. So basically, I did it through a lot of mirror work. I also did it through journalizing. I also did it going through workshops. And something I want to say about meditation. Meditation, again, this is what didn't work with me, without judgment. It's not for everyone. And I know when I was going through my journey, people would say, oh, go do meditation, go do meditation. No, because when someone has such deep programming and there's no support, meditations, you may be able to reflect, but you're still not, because I was so frozen inside my body. I had so much fear. I was in fear state most of my life until it started thawing itself in 2006 to 2025. So yeah, I used journalizing, I used mirroring, I used workshops. I wouldn't say retreats, but also I'll use sitting with my emotions. Now that didn't come to me, I would say, and I got to be so honest here. Even though I had done this sitting with my emotions, I read about it, I talked about it, everything. It didn't come to me since October 2025. When that anxious attachment came, I was like, wow. And I started doing more, even though I had done so much work. I was like I really started pulling back, I was like, no, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this push and pull? And I started doing more. And I'm like, okay, that's sitting. Okay, Nina, you're going to challenge yourself. You're going to sit with this. You know the work you've done. Now you're going to journalize even more. And I got to say, I hated journalizing. And now I would say I'm the journalizing queen. I journalize everything. And those helped me go deeper into my programming, emotions. And in terms of sitting with your emotions, that's deep, because you're going to have to sit instead of before you would have distractions. And what I mean distractions is you're texting a friend, or you're going to go shopping. Shopping was big for me, spending money, or you go to one practice to another because you want a quick fix, and nothing's a quick fix. It's time. Okay. And in terms of retreats, I went to certain workshops. As things came up, I would do energy work. So because we are all energy, right? So I did Reiki, I did hypnosis. I do. Those are two. Reiki was very powerful for me, right? Like now when I do a Reiki session, it's very relaxing, right? But when I did Reiki back then, it would bring up things energetically. I would feel sick because we're energy. So I was already doing the energy work. So things were coming up, right? And in terms of retreats or like I didn't do any silent retreats, but I did go to a very powerful retreat in July of 2016. I can't share too much about the retreat because this fellow it was called Boundless Bliss Bali Journey. He's actually doing his last retreat this December. His name is Coop Laxon. So I remember my naturopath had done this work, and I gravitate towards it. And I checked it out. I guess this was a deeper part where I was just going through another healing thing. And I'm like, I go, yeah, I want to do this. It sounds exciting. So next I knew is I ended up signing up for the retreat. I got accepted. And here I was, I think it was July sometime, 2016. I was on my way for 19 hours to Bali. My first ever getaway on my own, 19 hours. Okay.
Wow.
And reading his book. I can't remember his first book was, but reading his first book on the plane. Okay. Oh, You Are the One by Coop Laxon. So read that book. And at the time I wasn't awake. I was in the midst of my journey from 2006 to 2016. Okay. So went to that journey. It was not your normal retreat. It was actually, he was getting more into making very uncomfortable. And he would say one thing, still remember it. Are you bubbling? I still remember that. And are things coming out? And yeah, so subconsciously things were coming, but not consciously yet. They were just being percolating. And so that was 12 days. And when I came back, that was hard because I'm empathic, and I have a very sensitive nervous system. So there were 18 participants, and not everyone had the same journey, and not everyone had the same emotions that need to be released and come up, or programming or what it was. And I crashed, and I had a different experience. So I fell in deep depression for at least over a year.
Wow.
And and I did have some support, but I was very blessed that I had my health practitioner who helped me through that as well. That deep depression. And because she had gone and she had a similar, we're both empathic. So she had a similar experience. Hers was different depending on her nervous system, and mine was different. And she helped me work through that. But again, even after that retreat, I wasn't totally feeling and connected to my core programming and setting up boundaries or healing further. I still stayed stuck and basically went, and to be honest, I went on another antidepressant and carried on. Okay. So that happened 2016, and just carried on, again, autopilot, but still functioning. I wasn't in depression, still going to work, still, in the meantime, I was also working on my coaching certification. I had started that in 2014. So that was online. So I was doing that, and I graduated in February of 2017 with a Master Empowerment coaching certification through Simply Woman Accredited Trainer, SWAT. So I did that, but I still was not 100%. And I think it was during COVID that I really crashed. And I had to, I was also a divorce coach, and I left that because I learned that, oh my God, I really haven't healed. I started questioning myself, why is this happening? Why can't I support my clients this way? Because I hadn't fully healed from my divorce or feeling my emotions. I can help these women with emotional stuff when I hadn't healed.
Right. When did you go through your divorce?
My divorce, we separated in 2012. We divorced in 2015. Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. So then it was COVID. I also worked for healthcare. I had a 20-year career with healthcare. Okay. And I was like, I'm leaving. I'm done. And then I really crashed. Like I crashed where I didn't get out of bed for like 2 years. Literally, I was in such the deepest depression I had. It was a depression plus a healing crisis.
And do you feel like it's part of, like, you went into that really massive depression because you had left your job, your career, or what was that? What was that catalyst?
I love that question. And now looking back, because I had never learned to feel, I was still distracting in certain ways, work, gym, spending money. I was still doing all that stuff. Right. And that was probably coming by trauma or whatever, or that was my programming. That's how I self-soothed myself, right?
Right.
So I think it was the sitting in the silence, and people didn't have to go to work. I didn't have the business anymore. My children were growing up. I had no distraction. They were becoming adults. And I was in the silence, and the world was in silence too, right? Right. And I could only relate that because I had done all that work. And again, I was still autopilot. I was still out there looking for another way to heal, because my other two healing crises, I had my health practitioner, and she says, I can't help you anymore with the work I'm doing. I think this is the end. So I had worked from her from 2016 to 2018. So, but what I learned through my own healing journey was different people would show up to support me. So what happened during that was I ended up in the hospital because I wanted to help, because staying in bed was not the answer. And I was always action oriented. I need answers. Why am I feeling? I was fine. So I finally did connect with another practitioner, and through her help, I don't think it was the antidepressants or anything, because I was still on the same one, and another one wouldn't work. And we even touched the surface so I could feel a little better, just get out of bed and shower. Like everything was a struggle for 2 years. And then I started doing more therapy with this practitioner. And I guess I was able to connect more dots. I was able to see through her work. I was like, oh, and I started having more aha moments. And I would think, I think it was about end of 2024 or mid of 2024 that I started feeling better, getting out of bed, taking a shower, making my own meals, and feeling good, wearing clothes I enjoyed. And because those are all symptoms of depression. And I started going to the gym slowly, things I just loved doing. All my hobbies started coming back. And I started feeling better. And that's where I further started connecting the dots. I said, oh. So what I learned was I started feeling emotions slowly in 2024. And again, new connections appeared, new people appeared, new work. So through introspection, I think it was, again, like I said, I'm going back to October 2025. Again, I made a new connection. I was kind of casually dating someone, and they say, um, relationships are mirrors into our unhealed stuff. And because I was already on the journey, this person came in my life to mirror stuff. It was my anxious attachment. I had no idea. And that was a major breakthrough for me. And it was October 2025. Still keep going back to it. Still remember it, where I really started feeling emotions. And because the journey was long and I was slowly feeling, connecting the dots and healing myself on an energetic basis, that it wasn't as abrupt. Like I didn't collapse again. It was like, oh, journalize, reflect, go back to my practitioner, talk to her about it. And then before you know it, I would say middle of 2025. Yeah. And even so to about beginning of 2026, everything came together. And that calling, that deeper calling of want to finding, okay, the soul purpose came through even more and more. And that's where I connected with my business coach, who's supporting me now in launching my business as a personal self-growth coach and supporting women.
Right. So it took you years to figure that out, your purpose and meaning. And I know, especially after your healthcare career, or just careers in general, for a lot of people, they go into a depression, they go into this like state of trying to figure life out because they've been doing that for so long. So that makes sense right after your time through that. But through that, you were able to find yourself again, but it takes time. And a lot of people don't realize how long it takes sometimes to become self-aware and to have that rekindling of your meaning, and finding meaning. And this is something that I have struggled with in my own life, as especially during COVID. I went through a separation and a divorce as well. And I put so much time and energy in a relationship, and it took me years to heal from that as well and go through therapy. So I really resonate with your story, Nina. So I really appreciate you taking time to kind of share that linear progression. Right? Because at the end of the day, it's like it doesn't go as quickly as we want it to. But at the same time, we have to actually take the time for ourselves and to do the work, right? And part of that work is like, it's not, and it's like we always try to aim for that destination, right? But it's that journey of doing the work is what's going to give us the results that we want at the end of that journey, or continuation of the next chapter, or let's say new beginning in our life. And so tell me more about your new beginnings with this whole personal growth coach, because you said before you were a divorce coach and you didn't like that at all. And you had a lot of, just feeling still about your past divorce and that you hadn't overcome yet. So you had to go back and you had to rediscover yourself. So talk to me more about the awakening of yourself just over the past few years of becoming a personal growth coach for others, especially women that go through the same issues that you go through.
Right. So what I discovered, the divorce coaching was nice, but I also found it's a different niche. And I find with my new niche now as a self-growth coach, it still goes into helping women process their emotions and feeling them, because raising that awareness, because I had no awareness. Then going into their core programming, looking underneath the patterns, where did it all come from? Okay, because that stuff was deep. And that's why my journey was so long. And for me, it was so long because it was so deep. And not everyone's going to have this journey. It just depends what your soul's taken on, right? Or your body's taken on. So not everybody's journey is going to be 18, 20 years. Don't want to scare people, right? And then after learning my core programming and patterns and shifting that, was I able to create effective and healthy boundaries. So those are the 3 pillars I support women with: process their emotions, feeling them, then going into the core programming, where did it all come from, and then helping to create effective boundaries. And those three things can only connect until you feel your emotions, because if you don't feel your emotions and don't know the core programming, there's going to be so much guilt in actually setting a boundary. You won't be able to, that boundary won't be effective. You're going to be doing, it's going to be surface level, and still the work's not being done. So those are my three pillars, how I help women with create their best life or wherever they are on the journey. Because how I can pick that up is a woman will share, let's say they get on a discovery call with me, okay? And something I do is, because women are already, I used to do it in my divorce coaching, and that was a different niche. But with the self-growth coach, I don't do the questionnaire anymore. Ask them a certain amount of questions, 5 questions, just to, I would get them on a call. I offer a 30 to 40 minute complimentary clarity call, get them on a call and help, they share their story. And through their story, I'm able to pick up things. Okay. Because I'm highly intuitive, empathic. So I'm able to pick up stories. And then based on that, I'm able to ask them questions. Okay. And then they're able to share their experiences. And then I hone into that. And then I can say, okay, oh, I see this, this, and that. And then I can say, hey, this is where I can support you. And this is what I offer as my program. And then we move from there. And then from there, I can see if they're a good fit to work with me. And they can feel me as well in that 30, 40 minutes, whether they feel I can support them. And I can ask them, what else have you tried? Because through that, I can say, what have they been doing? Like, have they been, and no judgment, because I did it all, right? In my entire life, as a, you know, from 21, I did it, right? So I can see that. And then I can see what they've tried. Have they reading books? Have they gone to workshops? Have they been distracting? Have they, you know, have they been, no judgment, have they been, you know, some people have affairs on the side. There's so many things people do to distract. Okay, there is, like, for me, it was shopping. So based on that, I can see, and that was not meant to be any negative. It just came up because some people don't know, or they travel, right?
That can be a distraction.
Yeah. Or call a friend. Let's go out with a friend. Drinking. I did that for a while too. Oh, yeah. And I'm like, oh, I don't feel too good doing that. So I was able to catch that, right? So those are things we do, right? So when they share that story with me over the call, Zoom, or on the phone, I'm able to extract information and say, and then I don't automatically tell them, hey, this is what I think is wrong with them. I can share my perspective in questions, like a coach. Hey, okay, so what happened with that? And help them process. And then they can decide if, first I want to see if they're a good fit, because I may not be able to support them. Like when I look at my journey, I needed to have a practitioner. She was a naturopathic doctor who was able to go deeper than just surface level coaching. And she knew exactly when to say, hey, Nina, you need to go see a doctor, or higher level of care, because I can't do that for you. But because she supported both her modality and how the medical system would support me, right? So yeah, so the huge thing is for me is seeing, can I support this client? Because I something I learned from my own coaching is I'm not, just to say it, I'm not a fluffy coach. I'm not going to tell you things just so you work with me. I may say, okay, I don't think you're a good fit for me, but I could recommend someone and you can see. I'm very cautious on that, right? So yeah, that's how I support my clients. Yeah.
I love that. So personal growth coach, can you break that down? Because there's a lot of different types of coaches out there. There's a life coach, business coach, you know, there's a gambit. So tell me, like, why specifically personal growth coach? Is this something of your niche, or, you know, tell me, how did you get to this type of coaching that you can offer for women?
So when I started doing more work on myself and started really going into being a divorce coach, did that. And then I started working with, you know, you have one coach, but then you sometimes need more coaching, right? And the journey never ends, right? The deeper you go, the whole, it just keeps coming up. So then I attracted my business coach in January of 2026, and working with her and her percent and going deeper with myself, I thought, oh, this is really good. I like this personal growth coach because of the amount of work I done, because it kind of, it hones in one, like it's broader than a life coach. I mean, it could be, but so that my niche is helping women, supporting them in overwhelming relationships, helping them connect with themselves so they can see deeper parts of themselves, and then see that it's, because life coach kind of helps them broader. So my niche is honing in helping them connect with their emotions, and then going into their core program, because a lot of my work is emotions, because I had to learn for 18 years how to feel. I'm still learning deeper emotions that are coming up still, right? It's never ending. So really emotional work, I can help them hone in. Okay, do you feel that? I don't say, oh, you've got that emotion. No, I say, oh, do you feel this? Right? And then they can tell me where they feel it in the body. And then I'm able to really, really support women with their patterns, the core programming, like where did it come from, through back and forth, talking to my client and them writing their life story. I can really see, oh, I see that, and then kind of communicate, see if you see that pattern and where it's coming from. And patterns are huge. I'm still connecting patterns. I connected a pattern this morning with somebody. I'm like, oh, it came from my father and it continued on here, and that helped me further heal. And then from that pattern work and process emotions, I can help them go into creating effective and healthy boundaries, right? So every divorce coach it was a different niche. I had to connect with lawyers. I had to connect differently. With this, it's a different kind of connection. It's more going inner, like looking deep in self, because nothing's outside of ourselves. It's inside of ourselves.
Would you say it's more spiritual?
Well, I mean, I love the spiritual aspect of it, but I'm willing to and who knows, it may develop later, right? Or I don't know, I remember when I first started doing the work in 2006, she used to talk about a soul tribe. And I was like dumbfounded. I'm like, whatever, I just want to heal, right? And I remember saying, what am I doing here? She goes, I'm helping you become the real you. I'm like, okay. So now I see where I become the real you. And eventually I'll see a pattern of the kind of woman I'm connecting with. Have they done some work? So that way, I'll see my soul tribe appearing. But on your answer to your question, I'm willing to help anybody that wants my support. And if they want to go deeper, once they've healed, want to go deeper into the spirituality part of it, I can do that as far as I've gone, right? Because that was also my work that I did was very spiritual. But being spiritual connected, and this is interesting because we think when someone's spiritually connecting, all they do is meditate, and they I thought that all they do is sit there and meditate and go connect with boring people. No. You still can live a normal life, you pursue your hobbies, you still collect, but you hone in on, because you have more boundaries, you know yourself better, you kind of connect with people that resonate with you more. Like I can't connect with the way me and you have connected, right? We can have this conversation. So I can go deeper into the spirituality part as well. And I love that. I love all that stuff.
Yeah. You strike me as a person that does love it. So that's why I asked you the question, because, when you say you go deeper with your clients, I'm like, well, eventually you're going to get to that spiritual aspect in someone's life, and that they're going to rediscover who they are, and you're just going to build on it from there. So I think having that time and that space to allow them to do that, that's powerful. That's really something worth celebrating, and also just worth bringing up too. So that's why I asked on that. So share me a little bit. Yeah, of course. Share me a little more about, you just recently discovered yourself as a personal growth coach, not even a year ago, you said, right? Or it's been a few years. So how are you? About a year, a little over a year. So share with me a little bit about this transformation? How are you promoting it? How are you sharing it with others? Like, because this is your business. Well, you are your business, right? So it's like, how are you, advertising it essentially?
Okay. So I'm advertising. You'll see my posts. I'm just starting, I have a booking link, which I know I can share in this podcast with you.
Of course.
And so where clients that are feeling, they feel like, yeah, this resonates with me. I like to explore more. So I offer a 30, 45-minute clarity sessions, complimentary, and we can dive deep and see if we're a good fit to work together. You can find me on Facebook under Nina Thiara, Instagram under Nina Thiara. I'm just getting my channels all ready for that. And also you can find me. I also have a meetup. It's called Becoming You, and it's on the meetup site, which is in the States and in Canada. And I do that every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So you can register.
Is this like a networking event?
So it's a meetup, and there's no charge for it. It's complimentary. You can join it, and I go into the story, and the woman can share what they're going through, and I can support them, help them see their blind spots, their programming, and where they're lacking, where they're over functioning, and needing that support.
I love that. So you support local women, but you also you're starting your social media. So who's your specific target audience?
My target audience will be, and it's interesting. I would say women between 35 and 65. They're having challenge. They have children. They may have been divorced, or they're getting into a relationship. They may be over functioning, feeling tired, and maybe having anxiety and don't know where it's coming from, because I didn't. So I'd be able to see, okay, ask them questions. Okay, where's anxiety come? And they can start digging deep and say, oh, okay, I didn't know that, because I didn't know that my anxiety was coming from over functioning. I was doing too much in my life and not reaching out for support.
That's huge. That's a really
support
big deal.
Is huge.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of women out there that they don't get enough support. So having someone like you to support them through these hard times, especially that, like you went through a lot of generational trauma back in the day, and you had to reprogram yourself, and you're still reprogramming yourself. And
it's a never-ending journey.
It's a never-ending journey, which is kind of the whole point of life, right? It's the journey, not the destination, right? I keep going back to that, but it's so true, especially when we're in a state of distress, when we're in a state of like not wanting to do the things we need to do to actually be human, or to adult, as they say, right? Adulting, because life can be hard. Life can be full of challenges. So do you see doing this like for, I don't want to say the rest of your life, but for like the next 5 years? Is this something that you want to keep doing and keep pushing yourself to do? And what are some future events or like future transformations you see within your own business that you aspire to promote or to become?
I love that question. Yeah, I can see this is my sole purpose after going through 18 years and still going through that. It's my sole purpose. I love it. And I love supporting women because it comes so natural, having my own lived experience. I'm able to say, oh, I see that, and helping them reflect on, heal. So yeah, I've been doing this for until I die, but instead of moving forward, I have some, I have some other things in my subconscious or consciously now, and putting it out there, is having a self-growth show. Podcasting. I don't know yet. They're out there, but right now I'm just honing in where I'm doing, the meetup, I'm doing the podcast, and I do one-on-one. I think with my work right now, it's more one-on-one, only because it's so personal. I would love to do like the meetup, couple women come on, or 5 or 6 or whatever it looks like. I'm able to support them that way. They interact, communicate with each other. Plus I give them feedback. They're not really going in deep, and they're very conscious of what they share because we're in a group, right? So my coaching will be one-on-one. Maybe I'll go into group. I don't know. And that will come up as I do the one-on-one. I do see myself doing retreats or being connected to other people's retreats and coming on. I do see myself talking on stage, because that will be where I would get out there with my work. Like, this is part of it, but getting on doing talks. So I'm working towards that. And the rest, I think, you let the universe kind of show you the way, because it does. It does.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, definitely. I'm a big believer in the universe, and there are no coincidences. There's always a time and a place for thing, and we definitely met for 100%. A reason, Nina. So I absolutely love that. 100%. And as we're winding down here, I know you do have to jump in another meeting in about 15 minutes or so, but right. I do want to ask you, is there anything that we didn't discuss or talk about that you wanted to share? Because I always love to ask that question, because, you know, I try to be thorough, but I want to make sure that, you know, there's something that you want to say that you haven't shared with us yet that you feel that's very impactful to the audience. I would love to hear. Thank you.
I think you're a really amazing host.
Thank you. I get that a lot, but I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, I've watched some of your older podcasts and I could connect with it. You covered everything. Yeah, you covered everything basically. Cool. Awesome. Yeah, I think women just need to reach out. If it's not me, there's other people, you know, that connect with, they feel it resonate with, but you know, it's so important to reach for support. I think now we're in a age where there's so many podcasts, there's YouTube videos, there's so much available to us than it was just self-growth books and people talking. There's so much knowledge now. Oh, there was something I want to share. So a lot of the work, because you mentioned that word, I cleared a lot of intergenerational and trauma as well. So that's something I can see as well. That's, you know, that's part of my coaching as well. But in that, you covered everything, and I think this was a fantastic connection.
Oh, yes, Nina, for sure. And yeah, where can people find you if they want to connect with you? You said you had a website and whatnot?
Yeah, I'm working on my website now. I haven't completely got it together, as I'm still, you know, get that together. I can share my booking link, and I offer that 45-minute complimentary clarity session where they can book a time to speak with me and we can see if we're a good fit to work together. They can find me on Instagram under Nina Thiara. They can find me on Facebook and shoot me a message on those 2 different channels. And the meetup that I mentioned, Becoming You, on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.
And that's in Vancouver. So those are for people only in Vancouver, I imagine.
The meetup
it's
site
online.
It's online, meetup.com.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I
It's a
assumed
worldwide
it was
site.
In person. Okay.
No. It's over Zoom.
Oh, cool. Okay. That's interesting.
Yeah, and I think the meetup site it operates in the States and in Canada. I'm not sure about other countries, but I do know it's Canada and it operates in the States as well.
Okay, so like a Zoom session. And how long have you been doing the meetup? Actually, let's touch on that really quick, because I feel like that's interesting.
January of 2026.
Okay, and how do people find about joining that group? Are they just on Meetup and they just kind of look around and they're like, oh, this is interesting, I'll go check this meetup? Like, how do people find you on there?
So I remember doing my divorce coaching meetup. I did that as well. So I'm familiar with doing the meetups. And then when I started in January, so went to the meetup site, look under women's self-improvement events. It's called Becoming You, right? Gotcha. Improvement, self-growth, women's events, women's networking. Mine's under Becoming You, and just, you know, sign up or just show up at 7 p.m. because I'll be there regardless anybody signs up, because as women, we've got children to look after, we got work, and we don't, and I remember doing myself. So I know I never signed up, or I would just attend because I didn't know what was going on in my day. I might have children. I'm already over functioning. I'm already not feeling well. So it all, you know, so yeah, kind of sharing that out there that I understand.
Yeah, got you. Have you had any luck doing in-person meetups? Have you done any like networking events to promote your own business or anything like that in the Vancouver area? Have you found that fruitful or no?
I'm just getting in right now and doing some in-person events as well, but Zoom's huge right now, you know. But people do show up on Meetup, They do connect with me over social media.
Okay.
When you're out there new, and people, and people are unsure, like, because some people have tried so much. And I know I tried so many different things for healing. So I can see
Mm-hmm.
people being reluctant. And that's why I offer that 45-minute clarity call, and also send you a booking link where they can click on that on the podcast once it's released. People are reluctant. They're like, oh, well, why? And again, people are going to resonate with me. And I would say this: people are going to resonate with me or any other coach based on their level of consciousness and their nervous system,
Mm.
and where they're at in their journeys. Like, oh, I can relate to that. Oh, I went through that. So I may not be the perfect coach for them. Maybe they'll connect with someone else. I don't know. But my message I can share out there and say, oh, I do this. And that itself raises flags in their head. Oh, I remember that woman sharing that. Maybe I'll go to her. Or maybe, oh, that coach is good. I resonate with her. Since Nina said get support, I'll go there. You don't know how it's going to come for them.
Last question. And I want to, this is so interesting about these meetups. So do you feel like in person is better or online is better to meet people?
So it's interesting. Our world has changed so much after COVID, and I mean, this could go on for a couple of hours. I could share some of the bad experience I've had when I was doing divorce coaching. I can, again, I am completely not into man bashing at all, because I have 2 boys myself, adult boys. So yeah, I'm doing divorce coaching, and in person, instead of the person showing up, he's going to bring someone with him, a friend or whatever it was. Instead, he shows up himself, so you can kind of connect the dots there. What happened? So I'm open to doing, again, we would do a Zoom first, and if they want to do in person, I'm open to it, right? But I think online has become the way of doing it, and I'm open to that. But in person, I'm comfortable both. I'm comfortable both. I really don't have a problem with either one of them.
Cool. Awesome. Well, thank you so much again, Nina. You're awesome. Really appreciate you coming on 111 Pod. And yeah, you enjoy the rest of your day. Make sure that you, of course, take some time for yourself and self-reflect, as you always do, it sounds like. So, and I love that you're becoming aware and you've shown your true self, and you want to share that with others who maybe are not there yet with their awareness. So helping women specifically go through either generational trauma or actually become the better version of themselves that they've always wanted to become. Yes, we definitely need you. We need that extra support. So I think what you're doing is definitely on track. And as long as you continue to find that spark of joy every single day when you show up, like, it's all about that energy alignment. So really appreciate your time, Nina. And I look forward to sharing this podcast in the next few weeks to everyone. So thank you again.
For having me.
Yeah, of
Thank you.
course, Nina. And we'll chat soon. All right. Thank you. See you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.